Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the GrindWorks BMX podcast. This is episode 29. You may have gotten here from episode 29.1, which was really a truncated version of this. So you'll roughly want to skip in about 8 minutes, plus the length of the intro. So I'm not really sure where that's going to be at yet, but probably close to 9 to 10 minutes, somewhere in there. Anyway, this is an interview with Mike and Mark Potoczny. It was done at the Wheel Mill to promote their upcoming jam, Winter Welcome. This is going to take place January 18th at the Wheel Mill in Pittsburgh, PA, and is definitely going to be a good time. So if you can make it out, I highly recommend you do it. Otherwise, I'm going to keep this short and let you get started listening to this episode, and hopefully see you here in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, somewhere in there. Anyway, I've recorded enough intros for this one, especially 29.1. I struggled through it. Never had to re-record intros. I usually just wing it, but I'm fumbling bad tonight. So anyway, have a good one. Enjoy the episode.
Go for it.
All right, well, it started with your go for it. Caught it just in time. All right, it's Andy with GrindWorks sitting here with Mike and Mark Potoczny.
What up?
Or I guess running joke is Mark and Mike Potoczny, right?
Mark.
Yeah, any name.
Yeah.
Everyone butchers it.
Who's who?
Well, it's more who's who. Yeah.
But no, just jump right into the details here. Here to talk about the Winter Welcome Jam at the Wheel Mill on January 18th.
Yep. Yeah, you got the date right. So January 18th, we'll be kicking it at the Wheel Mill for the Winter Welcome Jam, and we're gonna have activities like events, stuff like that from 1 to 9. Normal riding rates apply. $5 for spectators. Got a ton of events we can get on the schedule in a minute, but there'll also be an after party at Allegheny City Brewing. That's from 9 to 12 o'clock, 21 plus. You know, Bobby and Joe Lee, they're Pennsylvania Dirt, they're playing, and also Ryan Wirt, so that'll be fun. But we got a ton of stuff to do riding-wise of the schedule, so how do you want me to go about it now? I can just...
I would say just hammer it all off, and we'll cycle back to the details
all right,
here.
Sick. So starting off the day is the GT Bikes Streetish Jam with GrindWorks, of course. We're going to do like 15-minute jam, best trick. And what's sick about all the jams this year, everyone's going to win at least $150 for every jam, which is freaking sweet.
That's we'll come back to it. That's different than like previous years. You had like one big purse or something,
it's
right?
more
Yeah,
like...
some years there's just a mixed bag. One event would be parts, one event would be a set of forks, some would be some cash.
Yeah.
Whatever people gave us, but this year was like a little more like strict on the guidelines for like what people were going to give, and it helped out. So
And people shred so much harder for cash than a pair of purple forks.
I got a bag of XL t-shirts and 44 tooth sprockets on the line.
So
And non-ODI grips.
And then like
Doesn't matter what brand. If they're not ODI, kids don't want them.
So yeah, so people shred hard. We were like, dude's throwing money, and actually everyone was pretty easy to work with this year. So like we'll talk about all the sponsors, but all the sponsors were super rad to work with. So GT Bikes, GrindWorks Street Jam, that's gonna be first 1:30. Let's Roast. We're doing this thing called Time and Trick. It's speed and style, but speed and style just sounds too lame. So we wanted to make something lamer, so it's Time and Trick.
All right.
And
I like it.
so at 2:30, it's just gonna be a pump track time trial, but we're gonna take the top 8, and then they have to go to the jump room during the jump room jam and do a line, and then we're gonna average the scores, and those people will win $150, which is sick. So that's Let's Roast Bike Shop out of Chicago. 3:30. We've been doing this one for a couple of years now with Powers Bike Shop, but this year's mid-school bunny hop contest, and winner will get $150. But you have to ride a bike 30 pounds or heavier, and then it's got to be a mid-school bike. And we'll have 2. Like we have Mark, you know all about the bikes. Tell them about the bikes.
I was laughing because Andrew's like, yeah, my bike's over 30 pounds.
I've been warming up for this for years.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
I have my T1 barcode in my workshop right now.
That's the bike we have. So we have 2 bikes. We have an old Kink Jim
Zielinski, yeah.
Was it Jim CB, like the second model,
Something.
and a T1 barcode build up, and the barcode I put like it's kind of a little like spec wrong. It's like spec with older parts than because actually Mike wrote it, thought it was correct. I sanded it, repainted it, and it was fine. And then I wrote it, but we put like 44 sprocket on extra like put on like really long pegs. Extra
I got a
drop-out
44
parts.
full guard if you want it for it.
I mean, I think it was 39 pounds, and we were trying to make it over 40. So you can bring your
Brutal.
own bike that's slightly lighter. That'd like be like an advantage.
But it's got to be 30 pounds. And
Got to
it's
be
got
at
to
least
be
30,
mid-school.
but if you're going to ride ours, it's going to be closer to
And the
40.
bars have to be 8 or lower.
8 or lower, under 28.
Yeah.
Proper.
Yeah.
We'll-
Gotta. You gotta.
Man, I'm
measuring.
so close to that.
your bike,
My bars are
Just my bike. You
26.
just gotta change your frame out.
your bike just fits all the specs
Yeah.
other than the year of the frame.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll do the powers
No,
bunny hop.
the weight, I've never once weighed it because I don't care.
Yeah.
But I guess it would be interesting to know.
Let's crank through this, I guess, some more. We're gonna do the powers bunny hop. Then we're gonna bring back the Rail of Doom, which is sick. So Trey Jones is gonna be up here again with Sabrosa. $150 the winner, just like usual. And we're gonna do it in a different location, but we're gonna try to make it a little wilder, a little longer, maybe a big hook or something. I don't know. But that's what's fun about that is just like the week of the jam, we just like do something silly and figure it out. And Trey Jones is actually gonna come up 3 days in advance and help us build other stuff too, which is cool. So like that stuff, we're gonna do some change-ups in the park room, but Trey's gonna come help build, which is
Nice. Yeah.
super
And
sick.
I will not be up that week because I will be in Austin. But if
Yeah.
you're doing anything next week,
Yeah,
I'm around. But
sick.
Sweet.
just dodging the work, you know?
After the Rail of Doom, we're gonna do a kids jam in the woods room. So like any kid under 15, Kink's gonna give a kid a frame, which is dope, and Chris Doyle's gonna judge it. And then right after that, we're gonna go into like our woods jump room jam, and there's gonna be deluxe best table, Odyssey Trickster, profile best whip, and then that finish with that let's roast. You're gonna do that part with the dudes doing the lines, and everyone gets $150 to win that. And then after that, we're going to do lap challenge. And Circuit BMX is sponsoring that. And what we're going to do is you get at least $150, but we'll do your lap total times 3 if you do like less than whatever's $150, but you get at least $150, so just sweet. But if you go over that, we're going to give you more. Yeah.
It's like if you haven't been there for that, like that event, it's like part endurance and like part foot down. You're trying to squeeze everyone out as you're going around the jump room.
Yeah,
like maybe
yeah.
take them out on the turn or like
Running it slower or faster than you normally would.
trying to box your
What's
buddy out.
crazy, like there's full on strategy. Like I go up in the turn and I just stop and just like mess to mess people up. Yeah,
Tell people how to win.
yeah. You're right. But it's so much fun.
What's the
because
running like longest?
That was Joe, wasn't it? New Jersey Joe.
I can remember a year.
Somebody
it
went
never
over.
goes as long as people can actually ride. Like it's usually more so like someone like
No, but
cutting someone off or
somebody
boxing them out.
Somebody fell early. Like people fell early, and there was like 2 people. And we went to like 60 some laps, and everybody was like fatigued from watching. They're like 60 laps.
I
Like,
remember one year
That's like
Zach
40
Schaefer and
minutes.
Popple went to like into the 40s.
yeah.
And I
It's-
think
last
Popple actually
year-
kicked him in the air a little bit, and,
Yeah.
and they kept going.
Last year seemed like it actually ended quick.
Last year was a little quick, but people were like taking each other out, so it was entertaining.
Yeah. Last year it was
Yeah.
like 20 some laps, but
It's went to 40, and
the younger rider has went in the hundreds before.
Well,
Like,
I remember at
than-
one, maybe it was Next Gen Jam or it was Winter Welcome. I don't remember, but it was on the small jumps.
well, they went
It
forever.
was like 150 or something
we had
ridiculous.
to shut it down. They rode for an hour straight.
Yeah.
But that one's different though. The kids one, we like didn't let them kick each other or like, This one, there's like,
There's actually no kicking. That was
Yeah.
a one-time
Well,
thing. But
well, no kicking and pushing in the air. Like we let kicking and pushing in the berms,
yeah.
because like then it's okay. Like you're not gonna crash that hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And you might take a couple other people out as collateral and it's fine.
that's
Yeah.
good. Yeah, so that's the schedule, and then after that, we're gonna go party at Allegheny City. It's the John after party, because we like to party, But yeah, that's the schedule. What else you got?
I mean, if anyone wants to hear any more, they're gonna have to just tune into the full episode. But I'm gonna post that part up as is.
Sweet.
But I'm not like stopping the recording or anything, so we'll just carry on.
So some ways, like, we'll announce a ton of stuff, and like we might even have like some other things added in, which Mark and I, like, Mark's been gone in New Zealand, so we haven't had time to talk about all the details. But we might add in like another jam in there or two, or just change something up. But like everything will be on like, you know, the Wheel Mills Instagram and Welcome Jam, which is not the Winter Welcome Jam Instagram, it's just at Welcome Jam. But yeah, like anyone that wants to like keep track of what's going on, like it'll all be on there, and like the building processes and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I see you got a new wall ride.
Yeah, that's phase one. Yeah, then we'll do some parkroom stuff. Then if we get crazy, we'll do some other stuff. We'll see. And then we got to do the Rail of Doom, but it's gonna be fun.
Rail of Doom seems like, other than like a couple little fixtures and supports, it's like does itself.
We're gonna build like a. Where we're gonna build it, we might have to
pretty
build a
last
couple
minute.
like. I mean, it's gonna be like 6 hours of work, but it's so much fun just popping something up, and it's like kind of legit in like 6 hours.
We'll ask you. We have some ideas. Like there's
I
another.
think you gotta have a drop stage in it, like
for sure. Yeah.
drop off,
Yeah.
drop off. So you gotta come down twice, like stairs.
What's it?
That was there had 2 drops last year.
Yeah.
It dropped
And then you
once to the
dropped
flat
onto
bar and then
the-
dropped again to the down bar.
It wasn't enough to clip your tires on, was it? It was
No.
like under tire. I think it's got to be enough you could actually end up in tire rod, like screwed up.
Yeah, I think it dropped maybe 6 inches.
I thought of something crazy, but we'd have to have a bunch of rails. Imagine if like you had to have either 4 pegs, but like if there's a rail and then there's 2 rails on both sides, and you have to like hop, you know, to the left or the right, and then there's just a rail in the middle after those rails. So it's like rail, hop over, hop back over.
Ooh.
That'd be like a good. It would be too hard. Like, but I just thought it was
Maybe
a good
not.
idea. Maybe not.
What if you started it out as an up rail?
So it,
So you
It
got to
could-
come
it
in
could
at it with some
possibly be-
speed, and then it'll change out to flat, and that can be your one
Dang.
change section.
we were thinking, you know, where the 3-foot jump line is. It's probably going to be inside there in the
Okay.
MTB. It's
So
like over one of those holes and some other stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, because it's got to be somewhere where where not a lot of BMXers are going to ride that day. You know?
So we can like shut it down Friday and build it.
Yeah.
What do you think the feasibility of making it around the corner from the upstairs to downstairs is in the flow?
That would be insane.
You'd
mean,
be
are
laid
you-
completely sideways.
If anybody's a fabricator and they want to come help, hit
make
me up.
make that U section.
Yeah.
God, that'd be cool.
I mean, the main thing is that just like the jam's getting like some better help, but like that'd be like a couple grand, you know, like
Yeah.
if someone's good, we got to go do a pipe bender, get all that pipe, you know.
Yeah, you can bend it with a tree.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to be a perfect radius.
No, especially not for this thing, but
You
that would
guys
be
saw
wild.
The one we did for the GrindWorks jam up in Binghamton, where
Yeah.
we took a bunch of sections, bent them in trees, hit him with a sledgehammer, and he welded it together. After we were like,
Dang.
yeah, like that looks good, and then just like, well, all right, I'll
How'd it
make the
ride?
sports work. You could do the whole thing pretty easily.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sick.
Doing tricks out of it, like Zach hard 180'd out of his pegs on it, and that didn't make any sense at all.
Dang.
But overall, it was actually
Well, if the pipe's long
Not
enough,
that bad.
there's so much leverage, it would be easy to bend. I just like stuff perfect. That's the problem.
yeah. You need someone with a pipe roller.
Yeah. It would be hard that, like, say if you're going down that tree line and your right side pegs going like this.
Oh,
would be
you
so
can't
hard.
do the inside.
Yeah, the inside of the almost be
impossible.
impossible. Yeah, I was like the turns.
Right.
Yeah. Just think like
you could
it bends like
fabricate it with
this.
like a 45 so that you have to lean the outside, but you
Yeah.
have to lean the outside anyway. Because we
Yeah.
have that 180 rail at HCS.
Yeah, and there's like no. You'd have to go. If we had a turning one, we'd have to like make it so you could go either way.
Yeah, you'd have to build all your supports like downward away.
Yeah.
It'd be kind of cool to do it like right in that center path, like between the pump track and the small jump line. If it was like the whole thing, and then if there was a rail bent around that corner.
Yeah.
But you'd only like
On
you'd
the
only be good for
left.
like left side grinders.
Yeah.
No, you gotta then bend it back to go the right corner.
That'd be crazy.
Just a weird like S-berm rail. It doesn't have to be fair. It could be leaning to one side. We didn't promise a fair rail.
No.
Nothing's fair. That's what's like fun about the welcome jam. Like we just make up all the rules and do it however we want to do it, and it doesn't matter because we're just here to have fun.
It's not, it's not supposed to be competitive.
Yeah.
Just fun, goofy jams.
Yeah. And somebody's taking it too seriously, they just lose. Just for fun.
Yeah, like the one year we had, or maybe 2 years we had longest skid.
Yeah.
So it's like just something like anyone could be a part of,
Our first year we did the GrindWorks Jam, we came up with this idea that we were going to do the biggest bitch won a prize, but it was like a bag with tampons and stuff, and it just like someone that came and cried about stuff all day.
Yeah.
But that jam ended up snowing and being like 25 degrees
So
for a good
everybody
part
got
of
the
it.
biggest bitch award?
No, well, we were like, dude, we can't give this out. Everyone that came out and rode, like,
showed up. Yeah.
they showed up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we just did nothing with it. And then we've kept it in the back of our minds and like not really done anything with it.
Yeah.
But it was a funny idea.
Sometimes we get like G-Form will give us a bunch of pads, so the person that eats it the hardest, we just give them a bunch of pads. So not tampons, but actual bike pads.
Yeah.
I mean, when we had it at the trails at our parents' house, we'd usually get some bars and forks, and someone would definitely bend something during the jam, and you'd just be like, well, here's some bars,
Yeah.
here's some forks or something.
Well, so I guess that's like a good transition to what is the history of the Welcome Jam itself?
Well, so I guess I kind of alluded to that, but it started at our parents' house because we had trails out there, and kind of the initial reason we had it, because back then there were no legal trails. There was like nowhere else like that where you could really have a ton of people. A lot of the trails were kind of closed off to like outside communities because like just threat of them being plowed or something. But because we could, we had a jam every year, tried to have as many people there as possible and make them feel welcome. And then the name is kind of an extension of Welcome to Pittsburgh from the video series back in the day. So usually Bobby would premiere one of his videos or something like that, and it was kind of representation of like what the whole crew was doing as well.
Yeah, then it tumbleweeded, like we started doing stuff here, and there was like, let's host a jam, like try to raise some money for the park. That's when it started, it's like, we could get some people here and have some fun and, have a good time, and then it's just tumbleweeded even more to a little bigger, more fun, crazier.
Yeah, it's always meant to be like a very inclusive jam. Well, not about like only a pro jam or like, didn't want it to feel like a demo. We wanted people to come and actually ride.
Yeah.
Like have a little something for everyone so everyone's riding together. So we never wanted it to be like, at the time, this is what, 2008, it seemed like everything was going in a way bigger direction. There was like tours and big events, and they're like all the small events were kind of falling apart, so that was kind of the motivation.
It's like the time trial, like we'll have every age range, and then we have a kids jam, and then like for like best table and best whip, it's awesome because anyone can try a table.
If you can do a table or a moto whip, like there you are.
I mean, no matter what, you can still ride. Like you used to be riding during like any of the jams. Like it's not like
and I was gonna commend you guys on always having like, obviously when you do like a best trick run, you're limiting it a little bit, but at the same time, you guys know, like the local scene at least, you can be like, that kid, that wasn't the best trick here, but that was the best thing done all day long because he was riding at 12.
Yeah.
He was not riding at 8.5 doing something he thought he could win with. He pushed himself to 12 and just cranked it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much fun to watch.
Like those are fun, but just the ability to be inclusive is awesome in that regard.
Yeah. It's always fun.
And like I've noticed it at a lot of jams, and then like ours included.
Yeah.
That you'll have like a bunch of people riding, having a good time, and then you'll go, let's do best trick on that thing, and everyone stops riding. You got like 3 dudes riding now, and you're like,
yeah.
Well, that just crushed everything.
Well, yeah, it's like when someone's trying.
You want a mic?
When someone's trying to do the big trick, like we don't want it scared away. It's like it's easy, fun stuff that everyone can be involved with, and like we have one best trick, but like that's a fraction of the day, like And
like back in the day, like with the trails, we'd have a high air at the end of the day, but the whole day would be open riding and just kind of and then just kind of keep it open to everyone, have a couple things along the day. But it's the same here. I mean, you can ride all day if you want to. So it's not like sometimes if you drive to a contest, like went to a contest and there's like a run format and you feel like you're kind of sitting around all day.
That's what's sick. Like, if you don't want to be in the contest part, you can just hang out with everyone else, just riding the other parts of the park because the park's so big, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys, there was like a couple years where you were doing both, right?
Yeah.
And I haven't seen a regular welcome jam in a couple years, but I know you were hurt last year, Mark.
Yeah.
And then
I broke my elbow this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he got married too.
I got married this year, so I
Yeah.
just like that. All my extra planning for the summer was thrown into that.
Is that still something you guys want to do, I guess, is the question. Okay.
We'll do another one for sure.
Yeah. 'Cause I just don't dig there on a regular basis. I have another set of jumps. So like now it's like maybe a month and a half of work to basically have one big blowout day. So but when the time comes and everything comes together and like that's the main focus.
People
like,
show up early, it all comes together, and you have a good time.
Yeah, there'll be another one.
It's like right now, like I help run here, and then he runs another set of trails. So just like, and then we have other things in life. We're like, man, like how are we gonna get a set of jumps running on top of already doing all of this? You know?
Yeah, I have to butter a second set of trails to have a jam.
Yeah.
One day, it'll be back.
And then actually riding. You know,
I was gonna say, and at
ride.
this point, it's probably been 3 years since they were properly running or something.
Yeah.
So like,
I got the mainline running this year. We rode on my wedding day, so that was like I rode maybe 2 hours before. So I was like,
nice.
I actually bought a quad and put the car tires on to roll them in. And I was like, I'm not because we had. So I should explain. I had the wedding at my parents' house. I'm like, gonna ride some jumps that day. Like, it's gonna be a part of it. So with half the groomsmen, we were all riding the jumps about 2 hours before it happened.
Then it rained too hard. We wanted to jump in to like the reception party because you could have like rode right in, but it rained too hard. But still sweet.
At least you got the session in before, though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just sweet.
But yeah. So it's just been here then. Winter welcome.
This is 7. This is the 7th year, which is insane. Yeah, we probably only had about 7 at our parents' house, but still like. But then we used to have jams here too before the summer welcome. We used to have this thing called the wooden welcome. Like we had 2 or 3 of those, so like we've had like almost 20 like welcome jam things, which is pretty wild.
Well, back in the day, we used to have a jam here Friday before the summer jam, which was always so much. It was always like.
Yeah,
we'd have a Friday jam at the park and then the Saturday jam at the trails.
Yeah.
So those 2 years that we did that style, it was pretty nonstop.
Yeah.
I remember being so exhausted after those weekends because we'd be here till 11 or 12 at night cleaning up and then running back out to my parents and getting that going.
Probably filled after your jams. Like I call it a jam over. Like I'm tired for like a week.
After you run the energy so high, you're so amped up for like a whole day or two, and then Monday comes and you're just exhausted.
And even was it 2 years ago when the Uncovered Jam was here? Because it was the day after your winter welcome.
Yeah, we're all just like zombies.
You're like, this is cool and all, and it's gonna be fun either way. But man, that's like too much jam at one time.
The only thing that was nice is I rode more that day because I wasn't running the whole day. I was just helping.
Mm-hmm.
So I got to ride more. So that was cool.
Yeah, hosting jams is rough. If anyone that's listening has never hosted a jam, just say thank you to whoever's hosting it.
Yeah.
It's so rewarding, but it can be work at times too.
So Mike and I were talking briefly the other day about just sponsors and putting the flyer together.
It's a nightmare.
Luckily Mike does that.
Yeah.
Usually in the old ones, I would do a lot of the work on the jumps while Mike would do the flyers and like take care of everything.
Dude, I don't know. Flyers are like the worst thing. Like Mark would be like, so actually I anticipated because everyone out there, like when you do a jam, like so you're talking to sponsors and you know you're not their first priority. They run a company, they gotta sell stuff, you know, and like they want to help you, but they can't always like be on it with you. So you're always like, I need the logo. I need this. Are you in? Whatever. Let me know. Like, I just want to know if you're in, but they're busy. And Mark the other day was like, I made it because I anticipated people coming in later, which always happens. And Mark was like, oh, I don't know. I don't like how it looks. I'm like, trust me. Someone else is going to come in. And, like, some people are.
You're going to drop 2 more logos in.
Yeah. And it was like, I'm anticipating more people coming in. Like, I know this is going to happen, which is cool. I mean, people get stoked and they want to hop on, and that's fun. But you're just like, I know people are going to hit me up in, like, a week and be like, I'm in.
Yeah, and you're like, no, you're not. I don't even have time to properly do this at this point.
I have a job and other things to do. But I'm glad people want to help, though, because that's cool. They want to help. They want to help our scene, which is sweet.
Yeah, and you would think it gets easier every year when you're like, hey, man, you've sponsored this like 4 years in a row now. Yeah. You want to do it? And it's always like, I don't know if we've got the funding, and then like, can you run it through a bike shop? Because, it has to be like legit. And you're like, dude, this is the 5th year of this jam. It's legit.
Yeah.
If that's what you need, then fine. But like, why should I burden a bike shop to place an order with you so you can throw a couple of extra things in there? I'd rather just not have you sponsor it.
Yeah. I'd rather sponsors hear this out there.
Well, I'd rather the bike shop be on to throw in like $5-10 gift cards to get someone in their shop, a couple shop shirts or something.
Yeah.
And that be what the shop does as a sponsor. Not like, hey, do you want to sponsor this jam? What do you need? I need you to place an order with Merit, Kink, and someone else. Yeah. And it's like, well, now you're asking me to throw hundreds of dollars at this.
Yeah. Speaking of bike shops, though, this year was sweet. Like, I asked, like, Powers, Let's Roast, and Circuit, and they were just like, yep, in. Like, it was just, like, sick. Like, and they're helping in a pretty big way, which is awesome. And, like, it's cool to see bike shops, which, you think that bike brands would have more, power and some budgeting and stuff, but the bike shops were just like, hell yeah, we are in, which is awesome.
Yeah, the shops are awesome. All the shops involved do so much for their own communities and their towns too. So everyone involved, whether it's Circuit or Let's Roast or Powers, like they do a lot in their scenes, and really help like bring everyone together, and then for them to help us do that here means a lot.
Yeah, we're not even in their scene at all.
Yeah,
it's not surprising to see those names on there though. Like, they're just awesome regulars around the circuit of sponsorship for events and stuff.
Yeah, and they want to see every scene do well. Like, they've helped their individual scenes so much, and they want that to spread. So it's like awesome to have them on board.
Mm-hmm.
And it means you get to hang out with them. Usually that means a van load of them are going to come. So
Yep.
Which they are, which is awesome. I'm stoked. Because I think a whole nother scene of rippers are just going to come hang and party and have fun.
Some Chicago dudes, hopefully some guys from Richmond.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm stoked. That's what's fun. Like, for us now, the Welcome Gym has become like a reunion. Because everyone's a little busier. Like, friends own bike shops. Friends have normal jobs now. Friends have babies.
Everyone that's been around since it started is in their 30s.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And they still have stuff for kids, but a lot of it, the people.
But they call off that weekend, they come in, and it's 10, 15 different crews from different states hanging out. It's so much fun. I look forward to Friday night, just chilling in the park. There's 50 people hanging out riding, and it's all people from all over, and you get to catch up. And then at the Welcome Gym, it's literally it's the scene from why can't I think of it? The Roxbury. Night of the Roxbury. It's hey, what's up? Hey. What's up? What's up? What's up? But it's awesome. It's all people you want to you would literally want to hang and talk with for an hour or two, and you're just so excited. It's awesome. And it's a bummer that it only happens once a year, but at least we get to do it.
It's kind of like that at Swamp Fest last year. I remember you'd see a buddy, you'd talk to him for a couple minutes, and you think, okay, I'll catch you back up with him. I'll see him later, and then you didn't see him again.
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I wish I'd have talked to that friend more.
Yeah, it's almost overwhelming in a way, though, because you're I genuinely want to hold a conversation with this dude.
Yeah.
But there's 300 other people that I need to talk to as well right now, plus coordinate the event and keep things moving.
Yeah, totally.
It's hard. It's hard not to have ADHD that day. You're just like looking around. People are ripping.
I think that's why it's so exhausting, though.
Yeah. Good exhausting though. It's sweet.
That's why the outdoor ones were a ton of work because we'd be like coordinating, working on the jumps, watering the jumps. Like my mom would be cooking food, we'd like doing all kind of stuff, coordinating where people to camp. I remember those. Like
Yeah, it's nice here. You just
Kind of-
get a food truck. Yeah, way easier.
there will be food.
There'll be a mac and cheese truck like the one from last year.
So good.
Yeah, it's real good. And if you're gluten free, they have gluten free stuff because I'm gluten free.
And then you always have Showcase down the street.
Yeah,
Yeah, that barbecue spot is so good.
It's the best.
ridiculous.
It's the best barbecue in the city.
Do they sponsor the jam, or should we like
They've been to
redact
some
the
jams.
sponsorship?
They actually came. They came
Or
and
the
served
shout
at
out,
an
redact
under,
the
They
shout
came
out.
and served at an underwear bike ride after party we had here, and they were looking like, "What the hell is going on?" Because there was 400 people in their underwear here. It was awesome.
Ordering ribs.
Ordering some ribs. Oh my god.
Where do you wipe your sauce if you're not wearing clothes, like pants at least?
You just look around, they're just thighs covered in sauce.
Oh, that was awesome. Yeah.
That would be cool to see, like more of your super local businesses on your flyer, though.
Oh yeah.
But it's like hard to coordinate that stuff because what's the return for
Oh,
them? Like within BMX, it's like I'd like a return, but I don't need a return. Like you're doing cool things for your scene. Here you go.
Yeah.
That kind of pretty much sums up a lot of your sponsorships, probably.
These are all just like GoFundMe's, you know.
But like,
Help us do some cool stuff. Okay. There you go.
like to push Showcase, you're like, I mean, we send people down there to get barbecue all the time, and it's like, but you're gonna do that anyway, aren't you?
Yeah.
Kind of going to, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
Pizza Parma.
They at least give
My
us free
God.
pizza, so that's cool. But I can't eat it, but
Thousands and thousands of pizzas have been ordered from there at the park over the last 7 years.
7 years, man.
You don't even need to tell them where you are. As soon as you call in and they hear the noise, they're like, all right, order for the wheel mill.
You need one college special? Okay.
Got it.
Cool. We'll have it there in about a half hour. Okay.
So funny.
And I like, just sidebar, but I like everyone that runs up to the front and is like, I just ordered a pizza.
Dude, it's so annoying.
And you're like, so you're going to have to come up here in like 25, 30 minutes and pick it up.
Dude. They just want to wait, and they sit there, and they're like, where are they? And you're like, it's been 10 minutes.
That's what happens when you work like the summer camp here. The kids will order pizza like, is it here yet? Is it here yet? Is it here? It's been 13 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
ride.
been 17 minutes. Come back.
Go ride.
You're like, they're pretty good with their time, but when they tell you a half hour, that means it's going to take 30 to 35 minutes before they bring it here.
Yeah. Funny.
And set a timer.
Is there anything else you think people need to know?
If
If you're coming from out of town, the Wheelman has hotel rates. Different hotels. You just go to the website. It's on there.
yeah, that's a good deal.
Yeah, so one's only $100. It's right down the street. I mean, there's also an Airbnb and such, but it's like pretty rad that there's like 2 hotels just a mile away that you can stay at.
The
A
old,
lot of people do take it.
the old BMX free B&B,
Yeah.
sleeping on the floor.
Yeah, there's plenty of that happening.
If you
I
need
know
to stay
I've got
at
some dudes staying at my place.
If you need to stay at a house in Pittsburgh, you need to text your friends soon. I already have all the couches reserved at my house.
Leave every one of my couches and
Yeah. Everything's
Air
reserved at
mattress
the
and dogs.
Potoczny houses. Sorry, all
Yeah.
booked up.
Mine is quickly filling up, so also if you want something, hit me
Yeah.
up.
Hurry up, quick.
And I can't drop names necessarily, but any friends that you have here, yes, Mike is right. Hit them
Yeah.
up now.
Hit them up now.
I mean, there's always room to cuddle up on the floor, but I mean, how many people do you want to sleep on the same floor?
I've always debated trying to buy a house like near here and making like an Airbnb, but like it prioritizes bike riders and like, or like, you know, say if like someone like the GrindWorks crew is like, oh, we're coming in, be like, yeah, rent the house. Like, here's
Yeah.
the code. You know?
I think the first year we had the winter welcome jam, we kind of had a BMX house at the time, and there had to be
It was insane.
At least a dozen people sleeping on our floor in the living room, but maybe even more.
Yeah.
I think I had like 15 at my apartment last year for the street jam.
Yeah, that's what's up.
Like people were sleeping on our balcony,
Yeah.
and then that we
It's
still
a
had
street jam.
we had Ryder too, so it was like moving toys, and like it was
Your friends
rough.
sleeping on Legos in their back.
He had, I think he was like 6 months during that one.
Yeah.
Last year we were like, you guys are not staying with us.
That's a lot with having a kid. That was always the beauty of the outdoor jam at our parents' is everyone could camp. So there'd always be like a whole tent city in the back, like in the behind the house out in the woods. It'd be 30 or 40 tents set up.
That was one of the funnest parts.
Yeah,
Camping, hanging out.
it's like a little like temporary village.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, people could probably do that in the cold if they find somewhere to camp. I got room in my backyard if you want to do like a 20-degree camp out.
I
Just
do.
be homeless for the weekend.
I do have a backyard too. Yeah. There's some people that have slept in the parking lot here and all kind of stuff.
There's a place up there by the train tracks where there's that weird ditch spot.
Oh yeah, you can sleep up there.
Did you ever ride that thing up,
Yeah,
under, under the busway?
Mm-hmm. It's interesting. It always seems like someone starts a DIY spot and then gets sketched out by their own spot and then quits.
Yeah, is there still a sub there? There was like when I rode it, there was like a little sub, but it was like it wasn't going vertical. It was like oververt. It was like the bricks, the like cement block came off the bank, so the whole sub was sort of oververt.
I don't ever know what people are thinking sometimes when you're like trying to. They're like, what were you building?
That's fucking cool with a little bit of work. Like it's kind of a pretty cool base, but it's kind of right. It's like right just out of sight in the center of everything.
Yeah, and sketchy.
That's sketchy. Yeah, one time I rode that spot, there was a bunch of prison notes.
Really?
Yeah, all over the ground from someone that was like living there.
That's funny.
But they were all like, they were all addressed to like inmate number blank blank blank.
Wow.
That's weird. Did you take pictures?
No, I don't think I had a smartphone back then.
Okay.
I think it was right when the park opened.
Okay. Yeah, that's one of those things. I love just finding random stuff like that. Like, not necessarily graffiti, just things laying around. You're like, that is so bizarre.
Yep. What's the best thing you found?
Ever?
Ever.
What's the best thing you've ever found?
Best thing I found. We found some packets of like white substance that is debatably coke.
We found that at MLK one time back in the day. There's like by the one hip that everyone usually congregates at. There's like these yellow poles. And for whatever reason, my buddy like lifted one up, and there was like a sack of something under there.
We're all
And
like,
just kind of
"Ah."
like put it back down and darted away. And like,
Yeah, I don't need to be here.
Radio.
I hope no one saw that I saw that. Thinks I'm trying to steal their stash.
Man, it's like I'm sure there's some other good ones, but I can't think of anything offhand.
Yeah. Back to the Welcome Jam.
Yeah.
I know I do like to make about every time that we do Welcome Jam, like it is like a collaboration of friends. Like we're even talking right now to help promote it. Like my friend Evan Voss did the flyer and it looks freaking awesome this year. Like our buddies at Ink Division who we've been friends with for endless years, like always give us good deals on shirts. Our friends play the music, like Bobby and Jolene Wirt, like Mike Cottle works at that brewery, he's the brewer and we're friends with them, and like literally like it is like such a network of friends that come together to like make this happen, which is like awesome. And that's what like I mean that's the core of it. It's like about hanging out with your friends riding. But like so many people like put in a little here and a little here and a little here, and it's like really cool that, you know, we can count on everyone and everyone wants to do it and everyone's excited about this like central fun thing we're gonna do.
And I think people might miss the fact that they don't necessarily have to be like a high-end paying sponsor to be involved and help out either.
Yeah, just help. Come do anything, you know, like anything's cool. I mean, and I think like this is a debate for later, but maybe we'll have a whole podcast about it. But expectations from sponsors, like I feel like you should be stoked that someone's doing something in a community and like having fun bike riding and everyone's having fun. Like, you know, like we work with like a lot of people that we like now, you know, because of course they're way easier to work with. But like other people, they would give us something that nobody wanted, and they'd be like, "Oh, we need this on the flyer. You got to post this stuff. You got to do this." And we're like I said, you gave us a pair of purple forks, man. Like, I don't even want them.
More than anything, you want involvement. Like, you
Yeah.
want people that are actually going to come and help you run it and judge it and be a part of it. You want to, like, or like you hope if a company sponsors it, maybe they send a rider and the kids are stoked. Like Profile sending up Mark Mulville, and you know Shadow and Sabrosa send up Trey Jones, and like they're the bike shops. I think there's your crew coming driving off from Chicago to be a part of it, and Rhode Island. But like the people that are sponsoring are involved, not just.
They're not like everyone in it. Of course, they want to be promoted, but they're in it because they want it to happen. Like everyone that's like the sponsors now. And that's what's awesome about it. Like, they're not in it for promotion only. They're like, no, we want something like this to happen.
They want to be involved, which is awesome. Like, they're like,
Yeah.
okay, like, there's, you know, how many jams now? If there's a jam, like, well, we want to be, like, helping out somehow.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people miss the boat on this, and I've noticed it just in what I've done. But if you're not on the flyer from the get-go, even after you get put on, you're not on anyone's repost of the flyer. Everyone snapped that first one.
Yep.
And just keeps reposting essentially the wrong flyer now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
That's what I tell
like
people.
rectifying that's tough.
Yeah, I tell people that all the time.
Yeah, because you never. I mean, yeah, when people do help out, you don't want them to be like disappointed or something. Like you don't want them to be like, "Well, why wasn't I on this?" Like, oh, well. Yeah,
Well, like
that was put up.
You
before.
were. I posted this, and you were on there.
Yeah.
But yeah, these 25 people shared the wrong flyer. That's not really my fault that you didn't answer me for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's why this year Mike actually just put up a first post that was just the date, and then kind of put like a flyer together later to try to help from that happening, like to not disappoint anyone. Like put out the dates so everyone can plan to come, and then put out more details later.
Has that worked? Has that helped, you think?
Yeah, I mean, you want to get the date out there, of course. Like, I don't want one of my friends not coming because I didn't tell them the date, and then, you know, they're like, oh, shoot, I have this shift I have to do. Like, so I tried to put the date out there as soon as possible because I just want all my friends to actually be able to make it. So I was just like, I'm going to get this out as soon as I knew the date. I made a save the date because, like, all my friends will come and ride. Like, it's a bummer sometimes when, you know, like, there's a whole crew of dudes and like, oh, we got to do this thing.
Well,
and you're like, shoot.
And also to like coordinate with other parks and other jams. Like usually I always talk to Rays, be like, hey, what events are you having on what weekends? Let's not have our BMX event on the same weekend. Like one year I think we were the same date as the Old Fools Jam.
Yeah.
There's like a lot of buddies that would have came to
Well,
both.
and the kink one, like, so we talk to, like, before I do anything for the wheel mill, we speak with Rays, Kink, and I talk to Trey because, like, if something's too close to Swamp Fest, like, people are like, oh yeah, like if they're from wherever, if they're from Rochester or
They
anywhere,
just drove to Florida.
yeah,
They
they're
don't
just like,
want
oh, I can't come down, it's next
to
week.
jam 2
you
weekends
know?
in
Yeah.
a row.
So we like try to make sure we're all spaced out like 2 weeks from each other, which works. It's awesome that we all like chat and, you know, because I actually like half this stuff I want to go to. Like I want to go to Swamp Fest. I want to go to Old Fools. Like I've actually not been to an Old Fools at Rays in like years because it's always been like the week before the jam or around the jam, like something where I'm just like I got to do stuff. And like this year I'm actually gonna be able to go. So
That's cool.
yeah.
And that's why your date's always kind of different then, right? Because it seems like your winter welcome floats between like anywhere from mid-January out to late February, right?
It's usually always January. There was one year there was a conflict with another event. We had to kick it into February.
And that's the one that paired with the GT or the Uncovered.
He uncovered.
Yeah.
Maybe that was
Maybe
why
that was it.
Maybe that's why that one was late. I can't even remember, but I think it was 2 years ago and it was late.
But we try to do January because his work schedule.
Yeah, I'm just usually really busy with work, like the end of January to April. So like if it's in January, I can
And actually we
spend the
snuck
whole week like working on it. And
We snuck it up because
Fair.
we did some scheduling different at the Wheel Mill this year, which we usually had something. We usually had the Ride Like a Girl weekend at the Wheel Mill the second weekend in January, and then the Winter Welcome Jam the 4th weekend in January, but Mark's work starts like the Monday after that. So he's like, but then we moved the Ride Like a Girl weekend to more towards spring. So like that concept was like, oh, if you actually learn something right before spring, maybe you actually go do it. You know what I mean? Instead of like learning it in the middle of winter, not right, like say
Yeah, having 3 months more before you actually can implement.
yeah. So we moved it that, and then that opened up January. So for Mark's benefit, we moved it up one weekend, so like he can have a whole week off before he actually like goes and does. He works a ton for like 3 months straight. So
Yeah, because you're in accounting.
Yeah. So I kind of disappear from the end of
Tax
January
season.
till
it's
April.
tax season, man. Yeah.
Yeah, so as soon as we do the welcome jam, then I kind of get holed up in my office for like 3 months.
Wonderful.
No.
Whatever you got to do.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of it comes with the job.
It gives me a lot of free time in the summer to be riding jumps, so it's worth it.
Yeah. I don't know too much about what that entails, so I know that everyone that's in accounting is really busy February through April.
You just work like a maniac for like 3 months, usually 7 days a week. It's around the clock.
Anything else you guys want to talk about Welcome Jam? Details? I mean, we pretty much
Covered
hit
all the
every
bases.
detail.
I mean, we could talk about stories for hours, but how about people just come and we talk about stories over beers? You know?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Come hang out. We also need to go make some dinner. I've been at the park since 9 a.m. It's 8 p.m. Or 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. So we're gonna go make some dinner.
What the hell did you just say?
I think I said. I've just been here all day. I've almost been here for 12 hours at the wheel
You're
mill.
getting delirious.
That's it. I am delirious.
Well, and that sounds good because I'm gonna wrap and hopefully catch a quick session.
Sick.
Just had mine, so.
I know you guys were riding before. I'm like getting here at 6:20 or something. I'm like, do I really want to warm up and then stop?
Yeah. You just want to get it all in one go.
Yeah. Or I can just like not and end up going home and being like, I went to the wheel mill and didn't ride my bike again.
Can't do that.
People can do that if they want to come hang out, whatever.
But
they want to come make a podcast here, I don't care.
yeah, I'm really just following in the footsteps of Joe. Shout out to the BMX in Our Blood podcast.
I text him. I think he's coming to the gym. I hope he's coming to the gym.
Yeah, I hope he brings that booth. He had a little, at a couple of the summer events, he had like almost a little
saw
like,
that.
phone booth
It's cool.
set up. He had it
Super
like
cool.
TRA and a couple other things. It was like, and he just pull people in.
Joe, if you're listening, I'll build you one. Just let me know you're coming.
I was giving him shit. I said it looked like a kissing booth.
Yeah.
I saw a handful of people say something about that.
Yeah.
In that proximity, it may as well be.
Yeah.
As well.
Sweet. Well, yeah. What, January 18th?
Yeah, get out here.
All
The
day?
wheel mill, dude.
Yeah, do it.
Riding or not riding, come on out.
Thanks for listening, I guess. Shout out to the wheel mill. You did not. You kind of ran through the sponsors
Yeah.
of like the specific events. Do you want to just run them again? Just hit your shout outs quick.
Sure, totally. So this year, our sponsors are Deluxe BMX, Jaunt, Ink Division, Sabrosa Brand, The Shadow Conspiracy, Kink BMX, Odyssey, Profile Racing, G-Form, Let's Roast Bike Shop in Chicago, Circuit BMX up in Rhode Island, GrindWorks, of course, GT Bikes, Colt, and Powers BMX Shop.
All right. And that will do it. That's a wrap. Thanks, guys.
Woo-woo. Sweet.
Thanks for checking out another episode of the GrindWorks BMX podcast. I have nothing lined up at the moment for you, but hopefully around the jam and everything, I can lock a few extras down. Otherwise, follow the Wheel Mill at the Wheel Mill. Follow the Welcome Jam at Welcome Jam. And then I believe you can follow Mark and Mike. I think Mike's is at Michael Potoczny and Mark is at Mark Potoczny. And I could be wrong on that, and probably am. I'll fix it in the description of the video and the podcast audio file. So anyway, also follow our stuff. It's at GrindWorks _BMX on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat, and at GrindWorks BMX without the underscore on Facebook, Mixer, YouTube, TikTok. That's a mistake. Don't follow it on there. That whole thing is just not for me. Anyway, I will catch you guys next time. Really hope you're appreciating these, and Happy New Year.